A retrieved reformation. A former safecracker named Jimmy Valentine starts anew under the alias Ralph D. Spencer, determined to leave his criminal past behind. When he encounters Annabelle Adams, the daughter of the local bank owner, his resolve is tested, leading to a pivotal moment of redemption. Jimmy Valentine was meticulously stitching shoe uppers in the prison workshop when a guard came and escorted him to the warden's office. The warden handed him a pardon, signed that morning by the governor. Jimmy took it with a weary look. He had served almost 10 months of a 4-year sentence, expecting to be out in just 3 months due to his connections. "Valentine," the warden said, "you're out tomorrow. Get your act together. You're not a bad guy. Stop cracking safes and live a clean life." "Who? Me?" Jimmy feigned innocence. "I've never cracked a safe." "Oh, right," laughed the warden. "Let's see. Was it that you wouldn't give an alibi to protect someone high up? Or was it a biased jury? It's always something with you innocent guys." "Never been to Springfield in my life," Jimmy persisted. "Take him back, Cronin," the warden ordered, "and fix him up with release clothes. Let him out at 7 tomorrow. Think over my advice, Valentine." At 7:15, the next morning, Jimmy, now in ill-fitting state-issued clothes and squeaky shoes, stood in the warden's office. The clerk handed him a train ticket and $5, the state's way of helping him reintegrate into society. The warden gave him a cigar and shook hands. Jimmy Valentine, now officially free, stepped into the sunshine. Ignoring the birds and flowers, Jimmy headed straight for a restaurant, savoring the freedom with a meal of broiled chicken, white wine, and a quality cigar. He then proceeded to the train station, tossed a quarter to a blind beggar, and boarded his train. 3 hours later, he arrived in a small town near the state line and went straight to Mike Dolan's cafe. "Sorry it took so long, Jimmy," Mike said from behind the bar. "There was that protest from Springfield, but we got the governor on our side. Feeling all right?" "Fine," said Jimmy. "Got my key." Mike handed over the key, and Jimmy went upstairs, unlocking a room that had been left untouched. He pulled out a folding bed and retrieved a dust-covered suitcase from behind a wall panel. Inside was his prized set of burglar's tools, state-of-the-art and custom-made, costing over $900. Jimmy changed into stylish clothes, cleaned his tools, and went downstairs with his suitcase. "Got anything lined up?" Mike asked. "Me? No idea what you're talking about. I'm repping the New York Amalgamated Short Snap Biscuit Cracker and Frazzled Wheat Company now." Mike found this hilarious, and Jimmy had to humor him with a seltzer and milk. A week after Jimmy's release, a safe in Richmond, Indiana, was expertly cracked, yielding $800 with no trace of the culprit. 2 weeks later, a burglar-proof safe in Logansport was opened, taking $1,500 in cash. These thefts caught the attention of rogue catcher Ben Price. Noticing the same MO, he remarked, "That's Jimmy Valentine's work. He's back in business." Ben Price knew Jimmy's habits well from the Springfield case. Quick getaways, no partners, and a taste for the high life. Now on Jimmy's trail, other banks felt more at ease. Jimmy Valentine arrived in Elmore, Arkansas, looking like a preppy college senior. He headed towards the hotel, but a young lady crossing the street caught his eye. She entered the Elmore Bank. Jimmy looked into her eyes and felt transformed. She blushed slightly, clearly not used to seeing someone like Jimmy in Elmore. Jimmy chatted with a local boy, feeding him dimes for information. He learned the girl was Annabelle Adams, the bank owner's daughter. Jimmy registered at the Planters Hotel as Ralph D. Spencer, saying he was looking to open a shoe store. The hotel clerk, impressed by Jimmy's style, confirmed there was no exclusive shoe store in town and welcomed him warmly. Jimmy decided to stay and check out the business prospects. He carried his heavy suitcase to his room himself. Ralph Spencer, the new identity Jimmy adopted out of love, thrived in Elmore. He opened a successful shoe store and won the respect of the community. He and Annabelle became engaged with her father's approval, and Jimmy was embraced as part of the family. Jimmy wrote a letter to an old friend in St. Louis, declaring his new life and plans to marry Annabelle. He invited his friend to meet in Little Rock to hand over his burglar's tools, saying he'd given up the old life for good. On the morning of his trip to Little Rock, Jimmy had breakfast with the Adams family. He was set to order his wedding suit and buy a gift for Annabelle. They all walked to the bank, where Jimmy picked up his suitcase from the hotel. Inside the bank, Annabelle playfully put on Jimmy's hat and picked up his suitcase. Mr. Adams panicked, unable to open the vault without the combination or time lock set. Agatha's mother was hysterical. Annabelle, desperate, turned to Jimmy. "Can't you do something, Ralph?" Jimmy asked her for the rose she was wearing, which she gave him. He tucked it into his pocket, rolled up his sleeves, and became Jimmy Valentine again. He swiftly set up his tools, and within minutes opened the vault, rescuing Agatha. Jimmy put on his coat and walked towards the door, thinking he heard Annabelle call Ralph, but he didn't look back. At the door, Ben Price stood in his way. "Hello, Ben," Jimmy said with a resigned smile. "Let's go. It doesn't matter now." But Ben Price unexpectedly said, "I think you're mistaken, Mr. Spencer. Your buggy's waiting." Ben Price then walked away, leaving Jimmy to his new life. Dear old pal. Be at Sullivan's in Little Rock next Wednesday at 9. Need you to wrap up some things. Also, I'm giving you my tools. You'll appreciate them. I've quit the old life. Got a nice store, making an honest living, and marrying the best girl ever. This straight life is it. After the wedding, I'm heading west to avoid old scores. She believes in me, and I won't let her down. See you at Sully's. Your old friend, Jimmy.